Hi, and welcome to the Press Enterprise High School Football Video Podcast. This is our first week of doing this. If you've watched any of the others, congratulations, you're more committed than most. I'm going to be talking to Alyssa Ziller, one of our writers here, about Northwest football. We're doing a little podcast on each of the teams at the midway point of the season. And Alyssa, Northwest, I have to say, a pleasant surprise. What have you seen from them through 5 weeks?
5 weeks. Well, I have seen them for 2 weeks so far. I was actually at the GAR game, which went into double overtime. I also was there when they played Western Wayne as well, which was a win. I know they started the season with 2 losses, and it kind of seems like they've kicked into resiliency mode and got 3 wins here, so I'm hoping they do it again this week against Greater Nanticoke for the area.
Yeah, you know, it seems like the GAR game was a turning point,
Yes.
At least in how I view Northwest. I know I thought GAR was going to win that game. Do you think something kicked in from Northwest at that point, or do you think maybe we were underestimating how good Northwest is?
In my opinion, I think it was just a huge turning point. Walsh and the rest of the team really kicked it into gear. The year before this year, they played GAR in another overtime game, and they won. GAR, played them tough. They're a very offensively sound team. They have a great running back. He was great in that game as well, even with the overtime loss. I think it was just a great turning point for them. Jeremy Walsh has been really doing everything for that team. The offensive line has been awesome, creating those gaps for Walsh, who is the leading rusher for them right now. As well as being the quarterback and the kicker. So, I'm hoping they stay hot because they're hot right now.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeremy Walsh, and I was gonna ask you who you think the MVP is at this point, and it kind of seems like a no-brainer when you have a kid who's your leading rusher, he's also your quarterback, so he's your leading passer, he's your kicker, he plays defense. It's got to be Walsh, right?
No doubt. Hands down, it's Walsh. Right now he has 101 touches. That's doubled what Garrett Reese has, who is their, second leading rusher. He also is more than doubled in yardage right now. He has 604 yards right now. So he's looking into potentially getting more than 1,000 yards this season, which is pretty incredible for a quarterback. So
yeah.
Hands down, I definitely think he's the MVP.
Yeah, I think he's on pace for about 1,200
Yeah.
rushing yards, which
is incredible as a quarterback. So
a little crazy. Now, we've talked about how well they run the ball, especially last week Garrett Reese gets in and runs for 130 yards. They're able to rest Walsh a little bit. He only has 17 carries. Yeah. Did they throw the ball well enough to do anything in District 2 playoffs?
I guess we'll see. I've seen a good arm on him. He's real smart in the pocket. He knows when he needs to run the ball. He knows when he needs to throw the ball as well. I think I've seen him run a lot more than he's passed, but from what I've seen, I think it's something that their team should be aware of. Not a power in the pocket of running the ball. He's a power in the pocket, passing the ball as well.
Now, how do you see the second half as far as they still have to play Lake Lehman, who is they're not state ranked, but they're among the teams to watch in the Pennsylvania Football News rankings. They still have to play Myers, who's just loaded with athletes. 3-2 at this point. It looks like 7-3 is going to be what it takes to get a home playoff game. Are they good enough to beat the Lehmans and the Myerses and get that home playoff game?
I think if they stay hot, they do, and I also think it's going to be important for them to not overuse Walsh and use some of their other players as well, because he, as we've talked about, he's doing a lot right now, and you don't want him to burn out before potentially they make playoffs, or even towards the end of the season when they need to win games to make playoffs. So I think it's going to be more of a team effort going into the big games like Lehman and Myers, that it's going to be more of a team effort. We need to see, not just Walsh running the ball constantly.
Okay, and last question. Your hat is personally offensive to me. Will you take off your Yankees hat?
If you want me to, I will take it off.
Look at that. Well, I think that's all we've got on Northwest football. But if you enjoyed what you were watching, we're going to be doing this every week. Not 9 of them every week, but at least 1 podcast every week. So please check us out. Go to pressenterpriseonline.com. You'll be able to find all our stories and all our tweets and all the great stuff that we do. Not Ziller so much, but the rest of us do great stuff.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. You can also find links to our weekly playbook, or you can pick it up at the newsstand, Old Fashioned Styles. So please check that out. And well, for Alyssa Ziller, I am Press Enterprise Sports Editor Tim Hare, thanking you for watching, and hopefully we see you next week.